This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Well, I was going to say it's Friday because I've been doing this for so long, but it's not Friday. It's Thursday, but that's okay because we are back here with Game Time. And I know, we have to flip-flop, but as times change, my kids are involved in stuff. Glen's kids are involved in stuff. Fridays are just not looking good right now. And I was going to ask Glen what he thought about it. And if you guys remember, if you saw,
I'm breaking out.
You saw the community show.
I'm out.
That's where he was at, and we've kind of kept him there. What's going on, Glen?
Nothing. I see you guys tied me up. You had some people clunk me on the back of the head and tie me up again.
It was all Jayde.
At least Shelion felt bad about it. You didn't feel bad about it. She was like, "Oh, Glen, don't tie him up."
It was all her idea.
I find it hard to believe. I definitely think it was your idea.
It was not my idea. I would never do such a thing to you, buddy old pal. Would never would I do something.
It's hard to think about it. You go hunting, so you have some of that stealth stuff, but then she was in the military, so she could have came in and camouflaged and took me out. I don't know who it was.
It was a
covert
ops.
Steven told me that if I didn't do it, that he was going to cut me from the show. So. Sorry.
It was a covert mission. Bill,
Gotcha.
Jump in here at any point in time and save this. It's getting.
Nah, you guys are on your own on that one.
Oh, jeez. So, anyways, we're here, guys. We're gonna have some fun tonight, and we're not gonna be restricted. It'll be nice. We can actually go. If we go a little over an hour, we can do that. Are you guys okay with that? And what do you guys think about chat room? What do you think about a Thursday night show at 9 o'clock? I know talking to the panel here. It seems to be a better fit as we were trying to figure out, without, stepping on anybody else's toes that are doing shows. It just seems like it would be the better idea, right?
It would, and I drove the other Steven crazy because we're going to go back to Friday, 8 o'clock. I told him during the show yesterday, I said, what? Again, we're moving? Yeah, going to keep people guessing. So, kicking old school for the temporary time being, we'll go back to Fridays at 8 p.m. And Game Time right now is Thursdays at 9 p.m. So you got to follow the shows. Got to vogue it.
So just for the record, guys, Glen originally, and the rest of the team here can back me up on this. Glen originally said, I don't care what day you pick, you're not picking Wednesday because I'm not moving my show again. That was his exact words. Now he said it. Am I right?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do?
The show.
What did he do?
The show.
He moved the show.
I did it more. I seem to just like annoying Stevens, whether it's you or my other Steven. So I bug one of them.
Well, either way, we got a lot of really cool stuff for you. We got some good segments today. In fact, Endless1up, he sent a segment in literally right before we went live, which I really appreciate it because he has been doing a lot with the Stream Deck, and I personally haven't gotten a Stream Deck. I've just kind of been debating whether I should get one or not because it's just going to be another
nothing else to play on. You got nothing else to play on. So
it's just something else I got to buy games for. What about you guys, Jayde, Bill? Does that interest you? Does the Stream Deck interest you, or is it just something else to suck more money out of you?
I've been interested in looking at possibly getting one. I just am barely kind of like getting my setup in order. So I feel like once I have everything set up to where I can call people in and stuff, that I might be more interested in one.
All right. Bill, what are your thoughts?
I've looked at it. I have so much stuff that I can't play right now. I don't know if I need another device, but we'll see. Maybe one of these days.
Here Endless says, he goes, I like the Steam Deck. Well, we're going to check in really quick and see what Endless has been playing on the Steam Deck.
Hey everybody, you're watching Game Time. This is Endless1up. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that thumbs up. What we're going to talk about though is the Steam Deck real quick. my 2 cents on what I'm playing this week and what I've been enjoying on my Steam Deck. So what's on deck this week? This week I've been playing a lot of Tunic. What is Tunic about? Well, Tunic is a really interesting game. It actually reminds me a lot of like the Cowabunga world with the different tiers, but like a vast big map, almost like Legend of Zelda size stuff. It's really cool. Let's go ahead and launch it up and show you a little bit of it and stuff and check it out ourselves. So I got a little sword. We can climb the ladders. You can chop down the trees. We can attack the guys here. Yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I really enjoy this Tunic game. It's kind of like a little it's kind of like it's just a lot like old school Zelda. I can't really say. I mean, you explore places, you go through dungeons, there's secret areas. Very, very much Zelda vibes. It's just you're a fox. And who doesn't like to be a fox? Well, hey, let's bring me back up to full screen. So that's Tunic. I hope you liked it. So that's Tunic on the Steam Deck. When you're done watching Game Time, come visit my channel, check out some Steam Deck videos, and hey, thanks for watching. Peace.
All right. Well, thank you, Endless, for sending that in, Mr. Dan. We really appreciate you putting that in there. He's going to be our residential. I got to say this right. Well, I got to say this right. Steam Deck. So Shelion doesn't think we're going Stream Deck as in the broadcasting gear. we're just discussing that. She's like, I thought you said Stream Deck. That
was perfect timing. I said, "Is he going blind?" And they just said Stream Deck, so it was like a perfect.
Well, we were just saying like we're used to Glen being
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
I had a Steam Deck. I sold it.
Did you really?
Open the box, yeah. So I ordered it. I had it a year out. Day one, I ordered it. I got it a year later. I got the 256 gigabyte one, and then it came, and I was like, I'm not going to play this. So then I just sold it.
All right, so I'm going to go back to my initial question. Jayde, do you see yourself buying one?
Not anymore.
Well, either way, it was really, hey, it's really good because I'd really like to possibly get one when the price comes down, but it's just something else that's going to cost me money. But this week, guys, we've got some At Games news really quick. Let's get to that. Be right back.
At Games news and notes.
All right, guys. Earlier today, if you didn't see this, I put up a video, a really janky video of me playing the new pinball packs from At Games. They did give us early access to it, and I know as of the time we're doing this show, what happened was, I guess the people that had early access to, if you had the At Games Legends Ultimate version 1, or you bought the pinball, they gave you early access today. And the rest of the nod deal to get this is tomorrow. So I've been really excited for this because I really like these types of tables. They're like that pinball effects style. And I was really impressed with the way these tables were. And I know some of you guys are still waiting for yours to be activated. They said that they were going to be by the end of today. They'll have them. Did any of you guys get to watch this video by chance on YouTube to see these tables, or do you even care about the pinball?
Well, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen a little bit of it.
Okay.
And I actually really enjoy these type of tables because it is virtual pinball. There's so many more things you can do with it. There's obviously pinball purists, they want just the pinball table.
Right.
But I think they're more fun. I think these are a lot more fun. They're more eye candy, if you will. Mm-hmm. And again, being virtual on a screen, there's just things you could do on them that you can't do in a real pinball machine. So for the ones that I saw, I like. And again, the Legends pinball, I think out of all the pinball machines out there in this type of price range, I think it's the better one. It's a larger screen.
Yeah.
I just think it's a better machine that has more features on it. In fact, I stopped at Sam's today because I've seen some of the pinball machines being, like $200 or $300.
$300.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, still $450 at my store. So.
Do you have any Kohl's cash?
I have a Cole that's taking my cash.
No,
he's going to college. He's got the car.
They just
all my cash.
They just put it in Kohl's now, and if you have Kohl's cash,
I got to tell you something real quick about a quick story. So he comes to me because like Dad's like, yeah. He goes, can I do some things around the house for a little extra money? I'm like, yeah. What do you want to do? So, well, I can do the laundry. Would I get $1 for that? I'm like, sure. He goes, if I mop the floor, can I get $1 for that? I'm like, yeah. So that's great. If I take the garbage out, can I get $1 for that? I'm like, Jesus Christ, this kid's born in 1950. Thinking like $1 is worth all this money. So I'm like,
No, Glenn.
so yeah,
Glenn,
yeah.
he's saving his singles for the strip club.
Well, that's okay. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that.
It all makes sense.
But like literally, my call. Let me tell you something. But I said I'd be more than happy to pay $3. But I got to tell you, you're way underselling yourself. So when I was your age back then, I wouldn't have done it for less than $5. So I'm just telling you, you got to
he's
get more
thinking
with
inflation.
what currency is here.
He's thinking inflation.
But yeah, wow. You better know what $1 is.
Advanced.
Yes, maybe.
I'm telling you, he wants those singles for the club.
But I would say then that's my boy. But again,
Where's the music?
Well, first of all, where would you find a club where $1's going to get you anything than me dancing for you? Like right now, throw $1 at Glenn.
There's no dollars though. Where are the dollars?
Oh, we're getting you guys primed and ready for Friday, man. Tomorrow's the end of the week.
That's it.
It's great. I'm actually off tomorrow. I took a long weekend because of Labor Day on Monday, so I'm off for 4 days. But hey, we're having some fun here. So
all right, I couldn't wait till Friday.
Sorry. Oh, look at this guy here. Look at this guy. He's already got his gin.
It's been one of those weeks.
Bill, that's too small a glass. You have to go for the red Solo cup, because I'll fill you up. Because it's time to party.
So,
who says it wasn't full when we began?
It probably was.
Ooh.
It probably was. He knew he was coming on here with you, so he had to He spent
he
the whole.
With me, so
I was just gonna say he spent the whole weekend with you last week. So,
it was great seeing Bill like this all the time. The whole car ride.
That's not far off from the truth either.
It wasn't. It really wasn't.
All right.
Although I do have to say, it was probably better the car driving than you driving.
It's kind of funny that my car drives itself, and then we go and we see Kit at the show. I thought that was kind of cool.
So this I have to put up here. You have to take a look at that one.
I would say here.
The $10 super chat from Wagner's.
Yeah, there you go. He's a great dance teacher.
For Glenn's dancing lessons. What I gotta say something here. Wagner, don't encourage him, please. Please don't. I appreciate the super, but don't encourage him, please.
Hey, that $10 is gonna get my house clean for a year.
Oh my
goodness. That's valuable.
Oh, anyway, so at Games National Owners Day this weekend, get your tables. We really, like I said, I've been playing. I think these are the best tables they brought out. Magic Pixel did a really good job. The other tables, I think they need some work. They're moving at 60 frames a second. Finally, I've been screaming about that. One of the tables, the very first table, and I forget the name of it, the right flipper is not hitting every time I hit the button. That's my only caveat with that. The flipper doesn't
move with the press?
I'm pressing the button, and I actually showed on that video, if you look. I pressed the button, and it wouldn't trigger it. But it works fine on the other table, so I know it's not hardware related. So I did let At Games know, hey, you might want to have Magic Pixel look at that, because there's something.
I know we're talking about At Games right now, but everybody noticed when I had blue hair, but you guys didn't know I have Space Channel 5 buns today. See that?
Can't really see them because of your headset, and it's dark. Oh, now I can see it with you tipping your head down. Okay.
Just showing off to us follically challenged.
So, Glenn, your average gamer wants to know in the chat room. He says, "Where are the bags?" That's what he wants to know.
They're actually, I've been banned from every supermarket in close proximity. That's where I get my bags from. So, I want to know what happened to the GRS Glen Georgia Show bags that you wear.
Wasn't there
a year ago?
Wasn't there a viewer or something that made a bunch of bags with your logo on it?
Yes, he did. I want to know where they are.
Where is that?
Etsy? I don't know.
I forget where it was. I don't know. I just know that he did them a couple the last show that we had.
Mhm.
He put him out there. So, yeah, UAG, don't encourage him because he's gonna get
Glenn's
plastic.
getting way too much encouragement tonight, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Jade, isn't plastic bags banned in California? It's probably because of Glenn.
Not
Probably
yet.
is.
No, not yet. Okay.
Surprisingly.
All right. Let's move on here before people start leaving, being like, "What the heck, guys? Come on." Listen,
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga collection. Anybody pre-order it? I know I did. It'll be here tomorrow. I got it for the Switch. You gotta have
Hard
it.
copy, right? You're talking
Oh,
about hard
100% hard copy.
Yeah, you gotta have a hard copy.
Shredder's Revenge. I did the same thing, but I did buy the digital. But I did buy a hard copy that I'm gonna leave sealed and just put it up. But Cowabunga collection. Did you guys all pre-order? Glenn, did you buy 5
I
of
never,
them?
you know, I don't pre-order anything. I
Something wrong
never
with you.
pre-order it. I don't do it.
There's
I'll
something
buy
wrong
it when
with
I
you.
see it. Well, what happens is you guys pre-order it. Most of the time, it's in the store before you even get your pre-order. So why pre-order it?
Because it's the thing to do. It's to make sure that you guarantee
That's
that you
what
have your
Glenn here-
copy.
This is
I
a
don't
slippery
do-
slope.
I'm not a lemming. I don't follow the crowd. I make my own path.
You still didn't take your Switch out of the box, did you?
I did not.
So there it is. There it is, folks. That's the reality of it.
I'm waiting until they have a double pack with Shredder's Revenge.
That would actually be really cool if they would do something like that. I did think what was interesting. I've been watching a lot of videos on this because I really wanted to play the Game Boy versions. I know it sounds stupid, but I always wanted it when I was a kid, and I never got them. Like I had the original Turtles for NES, and I had the
Oh,
Turtles
man.
in Time.
I played the crap out of my Game Boy. I still have it.
Rub it in.
Follow the Foot Clan.
So I want to play those games, but also you can play the Japanese versions on this, which is cool. But one thing I thought was interesting because the Turtles and Pizza Hut were very synonymous growing, back in the 90s. They removed every mention of Pizza Hut in all the games.
Really?
Cool.
Every place that you look where there's like, I know with Turtles, the arcade game, and you're coming down the one slope, they have Pizza Hut banners up there. The gameplay that I saw, Keo Daikin was playing it, and I was watching. I was like, huh, there used to be Pizza Hut logos up on the wall in the original. And so I did some research, and I went back and I was like, I was right. They took them out. Anybody know anything about that? Why they did that? Is it because of licensing?
Licensing. There's no question.
Gotta be,
100%.
gotta be licensing.
Yeah, 100%.
Are they in the Arcade1up version?
I
the arcade games?
I want to say they're not. But I'd have to go back and play it again just to be
That's a good
100%
question.
sure.
I'm going to bet you that it's not.
So
You're probably right. It's
well,
probably been like
bet you
this for a
$1.
while.
I thought maybe Pizza Hut was going
I'm
out
not
of
taking money
business
out-
or
I'm
something.
not taking money out of Cole's hand. Sorry.
I just thought that was interesting, but the Japanese versions of the game are supposedly slightly different. I'm sure there's not like a whole lot, except for the fact that you're not going to be able to read anything that's being written out. But I did find it interesting. I thought it would be kind of cool to have that collection because knowing Konami, they tend to, when they put things out, they tend to put it out for a little bit and then they yank the plug on it, right? So some kind of collection like this, I think that even Glenn, you should pick this up, even if you leave it sealed.
Well, I love Turtles. So, but if they're going to have Shredder's Revenge in this one, or Jade mentioned
It's not. You have to
It's
buy
not,
a separate
no.
one.
No. Yeah.
So you have to buy two.
I generally do that anyway.
Right. So what's the problem? So what's the problem here?
No problem, Steven.
Okay.
I will go get it.
Okay. Make sure it has the turtle logo on the bag too.
I just have to wait till Cole washes half the house.
Bill, why don't you talk about the PlayStation games? What do we got coming up here in the month of September? Since you threw this at me the other day.
Yeah, so they have released the list of the new PlayStation games that are going to be up on their new PS Plus tiers. And for the most part, it's kind of a lackluster list. I don't see anything too super exciting.
I agree.
I mean, Need for Speed Heat's okay, but we have a million of those games. I'll tell you. So, what I really kind of wanted to talk about with this too is the whole PlayStation Plus, the tiers. This premium, extra, essential stuff that they did.
Throw it out there.
And when that went live, I decided to jump in on it and get the full Essentials one. I think I had like maybe 6 months left on my PlayStation Plus, so it was prorated for whatever the whole thing was. I figured, for 6 months I could check it out, see if it's worth it. It's very hit or miss right now. I mean, like, I can see the potential of it, but I'm really, really hoping that they start adding more of the older games to that Essentials. Is it the Essentials or the Premium? I'm sorry, the Premium, I think, is the tier that lets you play like the PS1, PS2 games. The cool thing about it this month is they are adding the Sly Cooper games.
Oh, Sly Cooper's good.
Now you're going to get Glenn to actually buy a PlayStation.
I might.
I'll say the only.
Into it. I never played the game before, but I really am enjoying it.
The only thing with it is they're actually adding. They're not adding the original games. They're adding the collection that came out on PS3, and with the PlayStation Plus, the PS3 games are all streamed. You can't actually download. They're all streamed online. Over cloud.
Yeah.
Lame, dude.
Fail. Hold on. I gotta find where is it. Fail.
Go ahead.
Fail.
I will say, like, for me, I haven't had any problem with that. They stream pretty well. I've got a pretty decent connection in my house, so I haven't seen a lot of lag with the streaming on it. It actually works pretty good, but I don't know how that works for everybody. I would have rather they, if they're going to add these older games to the system, I'd rather they put the originals on than these, newer collection ones that they have access to.
You don't ever lose resolution, like, when you're watching a video on YouTube or something and then you lose resolution. Like, I've had that happen when I was streaming games. That's why I hate it. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. It may happen for like a few seconds, but it's not, for me, it's not awful. At least not that I've noticed. Then again, I haven't spent like hours and hours doing it. We're talking.
I just mean the fact that it's happening at all is just annoying to me. But that's just me.
I agree. I'd rather have it download to my hard drive where it's kind of streaming it, but it's not like they could yank the plug on it if I don't subscribe to the system anymore.
Yeah.
It's just more stable. But Sony does weird things. It's just like Jayde, you and I were discussing the other day about the M2 chip that I pulled from that MacBook that was dead, but the M2 chip was still good, and I was going to throw it in the PlayStation, but they require you to have a heat sink on it, which this doesn't have, and I'm like, well why? Why is it in a place that is going to get overly hot? Is it a poor design on Sony's part, or is it just something that they're just trying to be safe on?
Is it the same clock speed?
Actually, I think it's faster than what they're requiring. So I was like, what? I don't want to.
But there's also this weird thing where certain brands will work better, like functionality-wise. So it may say it's a certain speed, but then when you put it in and actually use it, and the PlayStation tests it, it's finicky. So it may say it's not going as fast as it should be, or something along those lines. So
well, that's what I was saying.
Kind of a gamble.
It's Sony, right? Sony does stupid things. That was my whole point about being.
Well, unfortunately, I think the PS3 thing, the whole reason it's streaming, has to do with the the emulation of it, that they can't, for whatever reason, with the PS4 and the PS5, they can't do it in hardware.
Don't get into that yet. We're getting into that later. Emulation versus hardware.
Okay. Yep.
Read the title. No, I'm just kidding.
I know it does. It does play into that, but
no, but you're right.
That is part of it.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
So, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna transition real quick. We're gonna go into our make or break session, and Glenn, I want you to pay attention to this one.
Make or break.
All right.
All right. Today's make or break, Keith Courage for the TurboGrafx 16. Was this a make or break for the TurboGrafx 16? Especially since they packaged this with the TurboGrafx 16 instead of Bonk's Adventure, who ended up being the unofficial mascot of the TurboGrafx 16. Watch this trailer and let me know what you think in the chat room.
Introducing TurboGrafx 16. Keep Courage in Alpha Zones. Turbo action. Turbo sound. Turbo graphics. Turbo Graphics 16 from NEC. A higher energy video game system.
And to keep your Turbo Graphics system steaming, by Christmas there will be tons of Turbo Chip game cards to choose from. Each one of them packs more action and punch onto every inch of the screen. Join Keith Courage as he battles alien invaders and restores peace to the Earth.
So it wouldn't be a make or break unless I put Glen's most favorite games in the world on this make or break. Glen, make or break?
I got to tell you, I know me and Jade have an argument on this one, but the TurboGrafx 16 was a really good, powerful system that it was. Had a lot of great titles, and it's important to have a good pack-in game. The ColecoVision, you had Donkey Kong. And that alone sold the system, right? You put Keith Courage, no one in the U.S. knew about it. It was an anime in Japan. So it made sense to have that game with the system here. Over here, I'm sorry, it was a game that really made no sense. It was mediocre at best. So in my opinion, break. Flat out broke. Broke.
All right,
Boo.
Mr. Wild Bill, make or break.
You know what? I'm gonna have to say break on it only because I barely remember it. I mean, the name. I definitely, remember the name of the game. I don't remember really seeing much about it. It just sucked.
A lot of these guys, Bonafide Picker, Adam Kalb, they're saying make. Jade, make or break.
Okay, first of all, I love Keith Courage. I thought it was a cool game. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool that this came with the system. I mean, was it heard of? No. But I was like, this game is so fun. You get into the alpha zones and then your sword keeps getting upgraded. There's cool music. It's super fast. On the slower levels, it was kind of boring sometimes, but you were just going to get to the next alpha zone, right? So I loved the game. Do I think it broke the TurboGrafx 16? Absolutely not. Do I think they could have packed a better game with it? Yeah, they could have packed like Bonk or Bonk 2 with it because that's like a game that everybody knew about. But I'm going to say make.
She's going to say make. Glen, I'm going to be with I'm with you on this one. This is kind of a bad title. This reminds me of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but for the TurboGrafx 16, right? Because you played as like this ninja-looking guy, and you turned into this robot, and it was so monotonous. Like I just felt like it was the same thing over and over. Sathius in the chat room says Bonks was better. What's up, MGK in the chat room?
Yes, Bonk was a better overall game. I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying for a game that came with the system, I thought it was a cool game.
You're entitled to your opinion. I thought it was a fun
game.
You put in Legendary Axe, and everyone would have bought the system. Period. Golden Axe. I can't believe people are saying make with this game, and I am so usually very easygoing. But I'm sorry, the game was a sucky game to put with a system you're trying to launch in the U.S. to go against Nintendo. There was so many other better games.
Okay. I will say that your argument, you have a valid point. The game had no notoriety, but for me, getting a TurboGrafx 16, and I think when I got mine, I think I got Bonk 2 with it, and I thought it was a cool game. I thought it was fun, but I don't think it broke the system. I don't think by any means it broke it, because think about all the other accessories they had. They had the Turbo Duo or the CD system. They had the handheld system. That didn't come with Ether. They had all these other peripherals and accessories.
They
so
did.
There's no way that one game broke.
You have to remember, though, Bonk wasn't around during the launch of the system. Bonk came much later.
She's giving you the slurp. She's giving you the slurp.
It sucked. Destroyed the system. And you know what else did it too? I'm going to be honest. Why'd they make it so damn big? They figured bring it to America. They took a nice, small PC Engine, which was a really cute little powerful machine, They made it the size of something you put in your car tire to lock it down, so the cops say you can't take your car.
That's
It was
a
a
trend.
mess.
Every single system that came from Japan doubled in size when it got
Yeah.
to America because
So
they're
dumb.
like, America, everybody likes things big here.
Well, they want
And
the Model
gray.
F to me. I
And
get that,
gray.
but that's not the point.
Oh, come
That's
on.
not the point.
All
But,
right.
seriously, I know, all joking aside, totally destroyed the system, killed it.
Jayde, there's a comment for you in the chat room from Ryan S. It says, "Hi, Jayde. Thanks for being a part of the show. We need more women."
We have Bill and Steven.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
welcome.
On that note, I think it's time for a little Arcade1up news, and this is something interesting.
Arcade1up. News and notes.
As you guys know, coming up on the 8th of September, all you Marvel vs. Capcom 2 fanatics out there, you're going to be able to pre-order this cabinet. But with Arcade1up's track record of pre-orders, is it really worth your time to pre-order it? Now,
Yes.
wait. Let me finish my spiel.
Yes.
Arcade1up is saying if you don't pre-order, the chances of you getting it before the middle of next year is going to be slim to none. So Jayde says you should pre-order it.
I am pre-ordering it, and here's why. There's two big reasons. Okay, I pre-ordered the first Marvel vs. Capcom, which, by the way, I think that was near COVID time or right after COVID started. And I remember there was several delays, like 2 or 3 delays, and I was like, oh my God, when is this? Are they going to cancel it? Like, what is going on? But I did get mine, and then they were sold out, and they never restocked. And I was like, oh, thank God I ordered that cab, even though I sold it now. But I only sold it because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is coming out. And my thing is, if you want to make sure that you're going to get this cab, because the way I understand it is they really are only doing one run, then you should probably pre-order it. Because, and the other thing is too, to caveat on that, is that the last 2 things I pre-ordered, I've gotten before the actual release date. So I think that this is one of those games that if you want it, you should probably pre-order it.
So I made everybody in the community mad back when Turtles came out because they all pre-ordered it, and I went to Walmart and got it right off the Walmart floor 3 weeks before their pre-order showed up. So, but I'm with you on this. I am actually going to pre-order Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's one that I missed out on the first one, which I'm kind of glad I didn't do now. Bill, I was going to ask Mr. Tron here, but Bill, is this something on your? I know you're still working on your game room. Is this something that is tickling your fancy even to get it?
This is definitely on my list. I'm trying to see how I can swing it and convince my wife that this is a need. But look, on the whole pre-order thing, first off, I'm hoping to pre-order it. That is definitely something I want to do, but I'm starting to I do feel like this is a little bit of fake FOMO on Arcade1up's part. They know the demand for this. I can't believe that they're planning this as a limited run. Or at least
but
that,
it was
not,
the same
not,
thing
not
for the
that
first one.
limited.
The first one I felt like was the same way though.
Yeah, but did they hype that like they're hyping this?
Well, the crowd for Arcade1up wasn't nearly as big, so I don't think it seemed like there was as much hype. But I mean, there was hype going on.
Yeah,
I don't know. You may be totally right. But I feel like they're hyping it up on purpose to try to get more people just to pre-order.
Do you listen to your wife when she gives you advice, Bill?
Sometimes.
Be careful how you answer this.
I may not be your wife, but I'm giving you advice right now.
How many of you guys in the chat room are you planning on?
Dear.
Are you planning on pre-ordering? How many of you guys are going to do that day one? Apparently, Best Buy, Walmart, and some of the other ones will also have it. Some of the guys would rather go through Arcade1up. Before we move on, Jayde, are you going to do it through Arcade1up, or are you going to do it through like a Walmart or Best Buy? Or
My
I'm
advice
going
is
through Walmart.
honestly, is you go to the store because there's a problem. You can just go back to the store. Try going back.
No,
Get a load
that's
of Arcade1up.
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to do as well. I was going to try to get it from Walmart or Best Buy, assuming it's the same day. Like everybody I've
Probably
heard.
before.
I'm going to
probably
be
before.
hovering over my keyboard like a gremlin all day that day. Literally just refreshing Best Buy and Walmart's
I'm glad I
website.
work from home.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is a good time for that.
Yeah, it may not go. There is a good chance that it may not go on pre-order from the retail the same day it goes on Arcade1up.
Well, then I'm
It
buying
might.
it from Arcade1up then.
Yeah, then I will too.
Yeah. You're gonna have to do that. So a lot of the guys in the chat room are saying,
On a related note,
Yep.
it did hit the FCC listings today.
I did. I saw that on your. I didn't get a chance to grab it, but you guys go check out Bill's feed on YouTube. When he posts to the community feed, he has a FCC filing of that. Go check that out. With that. Speaking of Bill, so Bill was talking to us.
Here we go.
He was talking to us a little off screen about how he started a YouTube. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna play it. You guys check it out.
Hey there everyone and welcome. So for those of you who've been following me for a while, a little interesting fact you may not know. This is not my first attempt at doing a YouTube channel. I tried to do one a couple of years ago and it was supposed to be a review channel where I review games. But I really only ever made one video for it and well, it didn't quite go the way I had hoped it would. But why don't you see for yourself? Alright there everyone, welcome to Wild Bill's Show. Today we are going to be reviewing the awesome new game from CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077. Man, after The Witcher 3, I know this is going to be an awesome game. I cannot wait to dive in and check it out. Let's get started. Alright, look at this. This is pretty cool. They got a whole character creation system. You can even be a chick if you want. Whoa! Damn, I wasn't expecting that. Oh man! Alright, let's try walking down the street here. Let's see what we got. Wait, what the hell is that? Where did that come from? Whoa! Alright, maybe we'll have some better luck in a car here. Let's drive around. Let's check out the city. Let's see how we do. Wait! What the? Alright, maybe not a car. Let's try this motorcycle for a little while. Uh-oh, I'm gonna hit the... Whoa! What the... How the hell did that happen? Ah! Alright, that's it. No more cars. Let's just walk around. We've got to be safe on foot, right? What the hell? Are you kidding me? What is up with this game? Alright, let's try some combat. Oh, chop your head off. Ooh, alright, come on. I'm gonna get you. Wait. Why is that guy's feet out of the car? What the hell is going... He's in the... This cannot be the same people who made Witcher. This game sucks! Holy crap, this game sucks! Alright, Alright, we'll pick this guy up. We'll drop him over here somewhere. Drop him down. He's float... Why is he floating in the air? Why are they floating in the air? Alright, that's it. Oh, okay, we're getting a firefight here. Alright, game's finally looking pretty good. We're doing alright. We're shooting, we're firing. We're shooting. Alright, this is looking pretty good. And then what is that over there? And what the hell just happened? No! Yeah. Needless to say, I never made another review video on that channel. Oh well.
I just, Bill, I don't know what to say or think, or you have a wild side, man.
After seeing that though, I have no words. No words.
I would have thought the YouTube channel would have blew up after. I mean, what do you guys think? I would have thought it would have blown up after that one. I mean,
still one of my favorite games of all time.
I do like the game. I do.
Well, it depends on the system, right? Some systems plays fine, other ones it doesn't.
It did get better after about.
I played it on
20,000
PC
patches.
initially, so I think I put like.
Oh, so that was your
300 hours
blue
on
screen
PC.
of death at the end.
I never got blue screened though. That's the crazy thing on PC at least.
No, I'm kidding. Listen, on PS5, I didn't have any problems. I had a few floaters like he was showing on the game, but I didn't
Floaters,
really have.
eh?
I had floaters, yeah. The cars floating and things like that. So,
Oh, okay, I thought we were talking about.
no, not those kind of not those kind of floaters. Bill has his. We don't really have any iArcade news this week. There's not really anything going on. Bill, yours is en route. Your gold edition, which will be here at some point next week, after the holiday, when you don't have time to play it.
Exactly.
So,
now, like I said, I was saying I got my shipment notification. FedEx said it was supposed to be here today, but I don't know how it was supposed to get here today when it was still in Tennessee. So maybe I'll get lucky and it'll show up tomorrow.
stranger
Sad
things have
sound,
happened.
Glenn, sad sound.
Come on, Glenn.
I'm too slow. I'm getting old.
It's
Getting
probably
too slow.
floating down the river in Tennessee with all that flooding. I mean,
Could be.
Maybe some magic will happen. You don't know.
very, very well could be. The topic of today, even though we're trying to cover news, but there's one main topic I know, Jayde, you wanted to talk about before we get to your segment a little later. Emulation versus hardware, and I know that's something that this community goes back and forth on a lot. So I'm gonna kick it over to you so you can get this conversation started.
Wait, whose idea was this?
This was your idea.
Oh,
Remember, you sent me the message and said, "Hey, we should do a roundtable on emulation versus hardware."
yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yes.
See, guys, this was earlier in the week, and I was just like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm.
That's about how my week's been. So no, but yes. So to bring us into this, I would say it's interesting to think about because we were all talking about earlier how they're streaming games on the PlayStation Network because essentially they can't emulate them, and you do lose latency and quality on something like that, which that is like to me like the most flat out. I mean, I just don't like it. It's not. There's nothing real about it to me because it's streaming. But so there's a lot of older consoles like the Super Famicom, Nintendo, that you can get for anywhere between $60 to $100. And I'm just using this as an example. You can get these consoles for that much, and then you have like these mini systems that come out that are basically running emulators, and people are paying $120, $160 for them, and it's like, why don't you just buy the real hardware? So if HDMI is the issue, you can use converters and stuff like this, but I don't understand what the craze is with these mini consoles when you're going to get a better quality version of the game if you're playing on the real hardware, obviously, because a lot of these things have, little minute issues or whatever. So it's just kind of one of the things that I think is an interesting topic because, I don't think there's any real comparison. It's like you might as well buy a PS3 to play PS3 games if you really want to play them.
I personally absolutely hate emulation. I wouldn't buy anything that maybe you're seeing there in the picture. No, I'm just kidding. I actually, that's what I use.
Actually, yeah.
That's what I use. I have ones for Nintendo. I just didn't feel like pulling all of them, but I've got one for, thanks to Glenn. Glenn's the one that actually turned me on to a lot of these. I wanted to play it in its realest form, so my real games don't get smashed. But I think for my argument for these mini consoles, I have them hooked up to my PlayStation 3 kiosk, so you can hook up and play PS4 or Super Nintendo Mini or Nintendo Mini, mainly when my little nieces and nephews come over, so they're not messing with my real hardware. I have them playing that, where the bigger kids or us, we play the actual hardware. At least that's my argument for it.
I think that software emulation gets a bad rap. For a long time, software emulation was the only way to have other systems that you could play until the more of the modern stuff started coming around. And of course, you have Mister, which is a hardware. It's not emulation; it's hardware recreation, but it's very expensive. I think software emulation actually has a very good place in the community, and I enjoy it. There are some machines that you can't even get any more, even if you wanted to, and to relive those type of systems. And they always get improved. I mean, obviously it's software, they got to improve the emulation as time goes on. But look at Arcade1up, or look at a lot of these other machines, they're running a software emulator. I mean, they have an ARM chip, and they're running a software emulator on them.
Right.
I really don't have I know people that are purists. I could really care less if everything's cycle accurate. You know, there are just some games I like to play, and on a PC with, I have like a 2 terabyte hard drive with all these different emulators back from '98, and you could load them on and play them. So I really do think that software emulation gets a bad rep. People say it's got to be real hardware, or it's got to be MiSTer, or it sucks.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I disagree.
But to caveat off of that, on PC, the best way you're going to emulate anything is going to be on a PC, because the emulators were built off of that platform. And like you said, since '98, they've been making them. And yes, that is one of the amazing things about emulation. But you can't match that with whatever they're putting in these little Android systems, because there's always weird bugs. It's not like playing on your PC where you can tweak everything and make sure it's playing right, And then you have the option of course, getting like these right here. Like if I want to play GameCube games, and you can change the resolution, and you can do all these other really cool things that allow you to tweak what you're playing on your PC. But these mini consoles that they're reselling don't play games like that.
No, that's true.
And then you have consoles like Jaguar where the emulation is incomplete, and it's probably never going to be finished. And so the best thing you could possibly have is at least the console itself. Then you can.
Yeah, there's no question that's true, especially in the I want to say Jaguar. I always call it Jaguar, but a lot of people say Jaguar. But Jaguar, it may never be complete. That's true, because Atari didn't have a lot of really good documentation on chip design. So when you think back earlier, when the very first Nintendo 64 emulator came out, it was high level emulator, HLE emulator. They weren't really even emulating the hardware. They were guesstimating the calls and wrote code to make the games play. Because honestly, they were playing faster on a machine than it would have played on the real machine. So there's plus and minuses, but the point is that real hardware, no matter what anyone thinks out in the world, is going to die and break, and it will eventually not be repairable. Chips are going to be gone. So ultimately, when people talk about what's going to happen in the future, MiSTer may do it. I mean, there's no question MiSTer will be around, and that's one way to go. But software emulators at some point may be the only thing you have to actually run these games. Period. Because otherwise, I mean, the PC is still the predominant platform. So I'm going to say that in the future, x86 or its babies and descendants are still going to be having code written for them. MiSTer eventually, it won't be able to run certain machines. It doesn't have the processing power to run certain machines. You can get a faster PC.
Wait,
code.
Hold on, guys. Glenn, are you tired of being alone? We'll help you. Squirt, sweat, tongue out, lovey face.
Oh boy.
Tongue
Adam will get on that. So what I
don't go for the squirts.
With the real hardware stuff, though, a lot of people are afraid to play with their real hardware because they're afraid it's gonna die. Like one of the comments in the chat room here was exactly about that. Stephen M said he's like, eventually real hardware is gonna fail. It's gonna die, and people are like, well, I want to. I know you said that, but he said it too. But people want to preserve it. But Glenn, if you just leave it in the box, it can die just by sitting there. So you might as well play it and enjoy it.
Yep.
That's why he puts it in bags to protect them.
But see, that's the thing I wanted to talk about really quickly too, because these other machines die a lot of times because custom chips in these machines fail. Not just the motherboards, because people can design, like the Amiga. People have made brand new motherboards, and you can populate them with chips. The problem is a lot of the custom chips are no longer even available. So I do hope, because I've seen this done already with the SID chip, if someone uses one of these FPGAs to basically recreate the custom chips in these machines, in which case then the machines would continue to live a long way. Because to me, I don't know if you're Jayde or Bill, or even you will agree with me, part of collecting the machines, not only running on the real hardware, but having the actual plastic, the design of that machine. That's part of the whole thing. So if you're running it in a MiSTer, you're running on a square little box anyway. It's still a recreation. It's still not the real machine. So ultimately, I would personally like to see, and I know they're starting to do it, is FPGA chips that simply recreate the custom chip of that machine if it fails. I think that's the only way it'll really go in the future. But ultimately, I still think software emulation has a place. And a lot of times, when it's a new machine, that's where it starts. Some guy sits down and starts writing code, see if it's even possible. And then even FPGAs get built off of that code. So,
but you know what, though? There's guys that won't even use these things.
Correct.
Because they say that there's too much delay. And honestly...
No, there's no delay.
No,
there's
I can play them
with
side
that,
because you're using the same hardware.
There is. The difference is... And I don't know what it is. It's some tactile thing, right? Because I have these flash cards. You put it in, you can select any game you want.
Yeah.
But it's still something about taking the real cartridge. It's just something in your brain, swapping out that cartridge. And even though it's the same thing, the same ROM, whether it's a multi-cart or that cartridge, it's something about putting it in that just triggers something with you.
Yeah.
And I can't even put a tangible word on it.
It's like the Evercade, what people are saying.
But if you're playing on your console on these, you are playing the game exactly how it's meant to be.
Correct.
Because the way that they load it into the system and the way that it accesses the memory on the carts, it's playing that actual.
Unless you got a bad ROM. Unless you got a bad ROM.
There's
if you got
ROM,
a bad ROM, you got a bad ROM.
Could we talk about a delay like the ED64?
Right.
It takes the ROM, it puts it in Flash. So yeah, there may be a 30-second delay where it copies the ROM into Flash. But once it's in Flash, there is no difference in how that game ROM is played in the game. None.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So essentially, the Flash is like you sticking the cartridge in and turning the system on.
And to be fair,
these
These things aren't cheap. Now, not what I pay for them, but I mean, because Glenn will tell you, I don't pay full price for them. I think I got each one for like $30, but they're normally like $150 to $200.
Yeah, if you want a good one, because there's different chipsets, so they'll play different levels of games. The Super Nintendo is one of the ones that has a lot of different levels, and I got Stone Age Gamers SD to SNES.
That's what the TurboGrafx one is, a Stone Age Gamer before he sold out of them.
Yeah, whatever it's called now, SD to SNES. But anyways, it plays pretty much any SNES game except for 3 of them, and there's only one that I care about, which is Far East of Eden. So I ended up getting an English translation of that cart.
Well, that's a good thing about them too, is you can play the ROM hacks where they translate the game to English.
Right.
And like Ease 4, I love Ease. I know Michael B. the Game Genie loves it too. It was only in Japan, so they released a fan-made version in English with English actors doing the code, and you burn it and you play it. So that's where these type of cartridges are coming really handy.
But if you were going to play something emulated, where would you go to do it? Because I think that if you're going to play something emulated, like a Mister is a great way. Okay, but then if you're going to play something like software emulated, PC is 100% the way to go, because you're going to get the best experience that way, versus like those little mini consoles and the Hyperkins and all that.
Although I have to say the NES mini consoles, they did really good with their emulation on those. The PlayStation one was the exact opposite. The PlayStation one was abysmal. It was horrible. But if done right, like Nintendo did a really nice job. And actually the Sega one, not too bad either. So, no matter how you do it, they're always good. Right, Stephen? But again, it comes down to the individual. But I do say that software emulation, like if I'm just sitting in my chair, I'll pull up my PC and I'll play the games. Put an NES.
I'm sorry, what, Glenn? What did you say, Glenn? What? I can't hear you, Glenn. Yeah, good plays for him. But no, software emulation. So I'm for either. Like I'm more of a casual though. But there are guys in here that I'm sure you'll ask them. There's some that are going to be like.
Here's one thing we didn't even touch on, like some of the PlayStation emulators or the Dreamcast emulators. They actually improve them graphically through plug-in modules. Right. So you're not going to get that in real hardware. You can make a PlayStation game look as good as Dreamcast.
That's not entirely true, because you could take like a Dreamcast, which already has VGA out, and then you can plug it into a VGA box that has an HDMI converter, and then you're going to be able to upscale it to 1080p, and it looks actually.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Pong is not going to work that way, but through software you can make Pong
Okay,
4K,
true, but
8K.
we're talking about Dreamcast,
Glenn, Glenn, I run my Nintendo at 1080p on a TV in the other room, and I know a lot of the guys are gonna be like, "You take retro games and you upscale them." Yeah, I buy all kinds of converters. So
But you don't have any artifacts. There's no.
no,
lag?
actually, it sharpens the pixels. I mean, obviously it's 8-bit, so I mean, take it for what it is. But it actually looks really, really good, like considering it on a 65-inch TV. But I do that mainly for HDMI, so I can capture footage. You know, so I convert everything to HDMI. So my Jaguar is the only one that's not HDMI. That's just going
Am I
in
the
coax.
only person that says Jaguar? Am I the only
You're a
person
New
on the planet
Yorker.
that calls
You're
it
a New
Jaguar?
Jaguar.
Jaguar. That's what I always thought it was. Jaguar.
Even the commercial, the lady's like, Jaguar. Do the math.
Well, so like Jade's saying, the best that my Dreamcast has ever looked when I bought a VGA scaler, and I scaled it up, and then converted it to HDMI and put it on TV. It's like, holy smokes, this looks all. Even the Sega CD. If you looked at Sega
Those
CD,
pixels look really square.
No. If you take a Sega CD and you put it in coax, I should see if I can do a video with it. Put it in coax. It's all like distorted, like the Nintendo is.
It's Sega CD. It's
but you put HDMI, it is very comparable to the Dreamcast.
Oh, all right. I'm calling bullshit. I want to see this.
I could show you how clear it looks. Like it's unbelievable by upscaling it.
Your
All right.
nose
You
is
need to do a
going.
comparison video. I'm saying, and with my
Hey,
button.
listen, Jade upscales hers too. She can tell you. I'm just saying.
Okay, Dreamcast 100% looks really good upscaled if it's done correctly, but you have to do it through the VGA port. Now, the only disadvantage to that.
I do video. Hello. Why wouldn't I do it correctly?
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
I wasn't implying that.
Oh, okay, all right. As long as we're
She
not
totally was.
But the only disadvantage is that there are some games that if you're running it on the VGA, it won't output.
Right.
So
yeah.
You know, then you're stuck.
See,
with
what
that.
most people forget is when you're doing upscaling, it's best to get a scan converter. So pay attention to that. Go look up what a scan converter
They're
is.
cheap, really cheap.
You got to get a good
Yeah,
one.
scan converters, guys. You know what? They use just 1080p.
You need a scan converter because it actually is. It's not compressing the signal. It's taking a raw signal and it's actually putting it the way it needs to be.
It's a raw signal and 1080p.
It's uncompressed, and so
it's raw.
They use a lot of scan converters in the movie theaters too when they're downscaling and upscaling. You know, for
movie theaters at 1080p.
Different. Exactly. So I used to use it when I did video in standard definition. I would take scan converters for some of my old camcorders and things like that. So if you have an old console and you're like, some guys will go out and buy a Hyperkin and they'll hook it up and it still won't come through their capture card. A lot of times it's not sending enough signal, and so without getting too geeky here, get a scan converter, put it in the middle of it, and you'll be set. I'm telling you, scan converters are your friend.
Aren't I? 1080p.
What's that?
I said I'm cut from the show, aren't I?
No. I'm determined to get 4K out of that Dreamcast. No,
Night Trap in VR would be cool.
That would be killer if you could do Night Trap. That was actually a game that I was going to pull up as a make or break because I bought it for the Switch. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I want to see what you guys think about. So maybe that'll show up in
that on Switch.
They do have it on Switch,
yes,
and I've been playing it on Switch.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, it's on Switch. Make or break.
And the history of that game. I mean, you guys even know like how that really even started. But we could talk about it in that episode.
Yeah,
there's a really long story about it.
I want to hear in another episode. I want to hear. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. I want to hear about that. Kong's is like, this is getting a little deep. I may have to take a shot here.
Yeah, you could upscale your Wii though. Upscaling.
All of my consoles are hooked up HDMI. I'm telling you, if you were standing in that room, you would notice the difference. If I set it up, you'd be like, "Holy cow! How are you getting that quality?"
But to say it's Dreamcast from, I'm not buying no Sega CD.
Now speed-wise, it's not like Sonic's not going to move the same way he does on Dreamcast, but the pixel count almost looks very comparable. It would surprise you, Glenn. I'm honest to God. I'm saying even
know.
Panasonic 3DO. If you hook that up over HDMI, it looks a lot better too.
Well, S-Video. You get S-Video out. S-Video looks
I
much
love
better.
my Panasonic. So
I used to have a Panasonic 3DO. I remember getting Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on it and just thinking, oh my God, I'm finally going to be able to play this game at home. And then there was all these like graphics missing out of it, and I was like, what the hell? This is like the SNES version of Street Fighter 2 where you're in E Honda stage and there's no water dripping out of the tub. I was like, who did this? Who was responsible for this?
Yeah, RB brought up about the Wii U, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to take a break, though, and we're going to come back, and Jayde actually has a pretty cool product that she wants to talk about. Stay with us.
Hey guys, today we're going to talk about this coin door I got off Etsy for my Tron cab. Nice. Let's check it out. So when I was looking for a coin door for my Tron cab, I was looking for something that kind of had an authentic appeal to it. These guys make the closest thing that I could find, aside from obviously a real coin door off of a real Tron cab, but those are a little bit more hard to come by. So here I'm going to share a quick walkthrough with you of my installation and what I think could be done to make it even better. First things first, let's get a good look at it. The design is very simple, which makes it easy to install. I'm not quite sure what these are, I think extra 25-cent stickers, but the overall aesthetic is very similar to the original, which is cool. And they leave you the option to be able to drill holes into your cab to install coin door lights or LEDs. This double-sided tape I'm using is foamy double-sided tape. The tape's kind of hard to work with, but eventually I got it off and got 4 pieces on each side of the coin door. Once I had everything on, the next thing I had to do was get a light mount and measure everything to make sure it wasn't off center. After the first mount, I figured out that it was supposed to be 3.5 inches approximately on either side. But the first time I was off by about an inch on each side. Alright, all good. Now we're center. Everything's on. I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of what it looks like and talk about what I think you could do or I could do to make it look even better. 1, cutting holes behind the coin doors to put LED lights if you'd like it to light up. Now on the original, it's not clear. I can't remember if it lit up or not. I feel like it didn't. I feel like these were one of those coin doors that didn't have lights behind them. But I could be wrong. I'm just going off my memory. Also, when you look at the coin door mounted on the kick plate, it looks like there's a tiny gap between the kick plate and the coin door, which doesn't bother me, but if I were to fix it, I would just put some painter's tape very close to the edge of the coin door, maybe caulk it, and then wipe it smooth, and then brush it later on with some black paint, like latex paint. Overall, I think this is a great way to give your Tron cab a little bit more of an authentic look. This coin door isn't perfect, but it's decent for the price, and I think that it does give it a more authentic feel. That's just my opinion, but I am happy with the purchase overall. So my only question is, did Tron have light up coin doors? I don't remember them being lit. And I feel like there was a series of games, you know, Pac-Man and Galaga, where the coin doors were there, but they weren't lit up. Or maybe there just wasn't a 25-cent spot.
If I remember right, I'm saying 80% they did, but I can't say for sure 100%. So maybe someone in the chat will know.
Chat. One thing that I really like about it, though, is that it has the like the coin slots have that matte aluminum look, like the Donkey Kong cab, which is, you know, how they actually look. So it does give it more of an authentic feel. And you also don't see like the 3D printer threads on there. It looks just like a rough surface like the metal ones did. So it actually looks more like it's metal.
Meatball Saucy has a pro tip for you there. He says, pro tip, when dealing with the difficult to peel double-sided sticky tape, use a pair of tweezers.
Noted.
And then the Tron, here's one from Bonafide Picker. He said, the Tron cab at our arcade coin doors don't light up. I don't know if that's accurate, if it's accurate. And then Kongzera says, fun fact, Glenn, Brad D, and I pushed Kai to make this coin door version to match the more authentic look.
Yeah, and it does laser cut acrylic, right? And it does look really good. Like, this is the perfect coin door for like Tron, Class of 81 or Galaga, a lot of those older cabs, and it looks really good. There are little fine things that you could do to it to make it look really, really good, but overall, out of the box and just putting it on, easy to install, looks nice. If you wanted to put light behind the coin doors, it would be easy. So in my opinion, I feel like I got my money's worth out of it.
I definitely think it looks good, and I think it was like $55. I thought about doing that, but it would cost me so much. I'd have to buy
Okay,
a
so
little
I'm stand corrected. Does not light up on regular or discs of Tron. Neither one.
Boom. Boom.
Good job, Glenn. Super sleuth.
Then you're golden as is.
No light going in there, yeah.
So Meatball Saucy says, the cabinet I played as a kid did not have lit coin doors. So there's another verification. Let me pull that up here for anybody. I really don't remember. I mean, I didn't really play Tron in the arcade. It just wasn't in the arcade when I was, I was at the point where WrestleFest was in the arcade and Dragon's Lair, but I didn't never play Tron.
I played
it looks
at
like
the
it was just two
arcade in Disneyland.
It was just two metal slots.
Yeah,
No
two
light
metal
up.
slots. But they still had the 25-cent logo there. I thought they were
in the middle. They had
inner-
two metal
right.
slots, and then in the middle there was the 25-cent.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty close. It looks pretty good.
Yep.
So I wanted to bring something up here. I was showing Bill earlier today, and Bill, I think you thought this was kind of interesting as well. Was the fact that Nintendo, believe it or not, Nintendo decided to push an update not only for their Wii U but for their 3DS. I guess in preparation for taking the store down. I mean, the Wii U's got to be what, 10 years old now? But they pushed an update on Monday. And mine automatically updated, even though it was just kind of sitting, I guess, in docked mode, if you will. Because I went to check it and it was already on the update. So August 29th.
Probably an anti-piracy update. Don't do it.
That's what I'm betting. If anything, Nintendo pushed it for that reason.
Well, they say that it updated the Wii U menu, the user settings, and it was.
Oh, is that what they said, Steven?
That's what they
Did
said.
Listen, did they tell you to eat your porridge and shut up?
Listen, you didn't have a you didn't have a choice to do it. It did it. If your system was on, it did it. So.
If your system's in a bag, most of
yours it didn't do it. Yours it didn't do it. So you're good. But this was. I know Nintendo's in the process right now of the Wii U shutting down digital. I think that's March of 2023. You're not going to be able to do any of that stuff going forward. So this is probably a way so that anybody that's going to try to hack their system or has hacked their system is probably going to prevent, because like my Wii is hacked, so I can play. I put all my games onto a hard drive, and then I put the games on the shelf so nobody gets
Nintendo, all my machines are stock. Nintendo, I have not hacked any of my Nintendo products. Everything is completely legit.
They don't watch this show, Glenn. You're fine.
Biggie D said some Wii U games look as good as Switch, and I kind of
agree.
I think for the most part I agree. I actually have a few Wii U games that I never did get on Switch because it was cheaper to buy them on Wii U, and I was like 1080p. So upscale, Steven.
There you go. That's what you got to do. Upscale it. And Bill, also you sent me, as I pull this up, why don't you talk about something that Glenn knows nothing about? That
women. Okay.
Well, no, the rumor of the Nintendo Direct, because we've been waiting. We've been rumored for this for over a year and a half, almost 2 years. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, another month, which means another rumor that we're going to get a Nintendo Direct. Can I just say it that way? We have been hearing this. We've been hearing about an official Nintendo Direct probably since the last one in February.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be in June around the time of E3. Then they'll push it to July. Then we'll get something in August. Now here comes September, and it's getting to be like the whole Boy Who Cried Wolf thing at this point. Look, it's Nintendo. They got to do one. I'm sure they're going to do one at some point. It's a matter of when and what they're planning on doing. I mean, they've done mini ones, over the last couple of months. I think they did an indie one.
They did the indie one, yeah. That was like a month and a half ago.
Now, this article is about, that it's going to be featured around Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and I think they even mentioned a Metroid Prime remakes for Switch.
Yeah.
I hope so, but, I'm at the point where I'll believe it when I see it.
Glenn doesn't even know who this is.
Nope.
He has no idea who this is.
That's isn't that like a leprechaun?
You have a GameCube, Glenn.
Glenn has no. I'm serious. This is a guy who's never
in a bag.
He's never played the original Legend of Zelda.
Never played any Zelda games. No, I
never played it.
Phantasy Star and Ys.
Wow.
Never played Link.
Never played it.
I did watch this cartoon. Well, excuse me, princess. That's all I need to know.
Glenn played the CDI version.
Yeah.
Actually, I did. I emulated CDI. Yes, I did.
That was an abomination.
It totally was an abomination. It's so bad.
That was
Nintendo.
So bad. Nintendo is still crying about that. Like there's still somebody sulking about that mistake.
I don't know. I'm with Bill on this one. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah.
I think it's like doo-doo anyways. Like they're just, upscaling these games and then getting everybody hyped for it. I'm like, dude, I own two versions of this already.
Listen, it's like the movies, right? They can't think of anything new, so they remake them. So these games are classics. Like they need to remake them. I'm 100% down with this.
Yeah, when you could buy it once for 40 and buy it again 5 years later.
I have 3 copies from
another 20.
Yeah, I want 10 copies of each from each
80.
different system.
Here's the thing. They've been talking about this for over a year now. Last year was the 35th anniversary. They missed their opportunity for these.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the upgraded Switch. Everybody was thinking they were dropping hints about an upgraded Switch, and then they were like, yeah, maybe, no, not really. Oh, well, maybe not really, but
listen,
I mean, there's a possibility. And then they came out with the Switch OLED, and everybody was like, cool. What else does it do? And they're like,
I bought it.
You just get a nicer screen.
I bought the OLED, and I
bought it too because it makes a huge difference.
I like to hardwire it.
Handheld mode.
Hardwire it, and no, I didn't hear anybody complaining about the Super Mario Brothers Sunshine and package. What is it? All Stars that came out.
Yeah, I bought that.
I bought that too. I have the
original.
original. I have all the other copies of it. I have the Nintendo 64 copy of it.
Yeah, me too,
No,
Steven.
it's fine.
So there you go. So now we own 5 copies each, right?
Bill has it too, and Glenn does too. We all have it.
Yes.
Actually, I don't.
No, I did. I
got the ROMs.
I did buy that, but I will tell you one of the main reasons I bought that. One of the main reasons I bought that is because they specifically said that was going to be a limited run, and I wanted to have it because I figured at some point it's going to be hopefully going to be worth something.
Right.
But it is fun, it is fun to play, even though now you can play Mario 64 on the 64, on the online.
What was the nipple twister about it? Like once they came out with it on the store, they took it down from retail or something. So now you can't, it's no longer available in stores, right?
No, you can't get it. No, the All Stars. Once it was sold out, it was sold out.
Yep.
Right.
So I have 2 copies of it. One that I opened, and then one that's still packaged up.
Kind of wish I had done that.
You can't even buy it. Yeah, same. And you can't even buy it digitally.
Can't buy it digital.
So if you're playing, you have your subscription or whatever, which that's like one of those streaming things. I'm like, I refuse to pay for a subscription to play games that I don't own.
So if anybody out there has a complete in-box TurboGrafx 16 that's in good shape that wants to give it to me, I will gladly give you that Super Mario All-Stars that's completely sealed for your Nintendo Switch that you will not be able to get again. Okay.
You don't have a TurboGrafx 16 yet? What's wrong with you?
I do. I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
That's right. I thought you did.
I have the Mini, which is now worth like $300 or $400, which is still in the box. I only did an unboxing and I stuck it back in the box.
That's right.
I've learned from Glenn, like you open it up to do the unboxing and then you package it back up and put it back in the box and put it
No,
on
you
the
buy
shelf.
two.
And you
One
buy
you
two of them.
open, the other one you never open, Steven.
That's it.
You missed it.
Well,
Missed the mark.
that's okay. It's still worth some.
By the way, go just real quick to go back to like our earlier talk on the emulation versus hardware. Nintendo still can't get their N64 emulation 100% right.
Correct.
Yes,
their own
that is
machine.
another one.
Correct.
That is another one. That is one reason why I have an N64 with the cart and a lot of the games still is because of that. That is another one of the systems that to me is like Jaguar, and it's getting harder to get. And you have two different things. So think about this: the games that use the memory pack, there's two things. One, they don't even make all their games available, like the good games that people like. And two, the games that use the memory pack are flawed.
So RB in the chat room, he goes, TurboGrafx sucks. You need to get the PC Engine because it has composite. The TurboGrafx 16 is RF only.
Not entirely true.
No, I bought the 16 or is it the 23 pin to HDMI adapter that they have
Right,
that I
that's
put on
one
the back.
thing. But you can actually take the back cover off and go right to the pins, and you can actually pull.
That's what I
It's
do.
not easy. You can pull it straight out, or you can buy the turbo booster, which I was surprised. I saw it at the show. Me and Bill were at the last show. They wanted like $500 for that turbo booster.
No, just get the Hyperkin one. It's like $30 in
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
It hooks in
But
the back.
Even if it didn't, you can actually tap right into a couple of those pins on the back.
Right, that's what you were telling
me.
me. Like you could solder it right to the certain pins.
Yep.
But I just bought that converter that just slides in. You just can't put the back part of the TurboGrafx on. That's all.
Right. Or you buy the turbo CD, in which case then you got composite out. Plus a single speed, awesome drive with gears that break. But perfect.
Okay, one more thing on N64. Also, it's another one of those consoles that even now emulated doesn't play all the games like properly.
True.
So it'll play most games, but there are a lot of games that it doesn't play properly. And I think KI Gold is still on that list, which that's a pretty big title.
Yeah. And I think it's either some of the cruising or some of those racing games just don't play right on any emulator.
All valid. But the games that do run, you could put patches in to get higher resolution.
We're not talking about the games that run. Are you shilling for emulators, Glenn?
Oh, I totally am. Because they have advantages. They have a lot of advantages. So there's some that are negative, but they do have advantages.
No,
But Nintendo 64 and the Jaguar are probably one of the two harder machines to do, just because the documentation available is so limited on them. And in Nintendo's case, the Silicon Graphics chips that they made in there was pretty custom.
Let me pull this up real quick for RB. This is what I have, RB. The pin part goes in the back, and then you've got the little box that you can convert from 720 or 1080. There's a little switch on that box. Let me pull this up this way so you can actually see it. There's a little switch on the little converter box that you can go 720 to 1080, and then it does HDMI directly.
Jayde would only do 1080.
You can do
1080p.
It also has, so you can go 4:3 to 16:9. I always do 4:3. I don't stretch my video. So you can. So I have that on my TurboGrafx, and it works great. It's a great way to pull everything in HDMI. Now, granted,
there's also the Super HD system for the PC Engine. So I think
is that the composite thing that goes on the back?
No, Stone Age Gamer sells it. So it's called the Super HD system, and it slides right onto the back of the PC Engine, and you can put so it converts it to HDMI 1080p, and then you can also put a SD card in it, and it will play CD games and TurboGrafx 16 games.
Wait, I think I pulled it up here. Hang on, let me see if I can go to that. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Terra Onion.
Yep.
Yeah, the Terra Onion.
320.
But they're expensive and they're hard to get.
Okay, that's true. But when you think about a PC Engine and what you're getting, the full library of games that are playable with it in HD, and you get the CD audio and everything. I mean, it's kind of like, or you could buy 3 CD games for $300. So.
I might have to get that, because it's so hard to find like a CD, a TurboGrafx CD that's one in good shape, the lens isn't shot, and two are under $500. It's just
if anyone in the chat, I mean, I have the Gold Star 3DO. I've been looking for years to get an SD card I know someone's made one. I can never find it. So if anyone in the chat knows where I can get a modification for my Gold Star 3DO to actually start playing games on it again.
You can just burn
CDs discs. There's no copy protection on it.
I could if the CD drive works. The Gold Stars are infamous for the CD drives because the lens is actually on the tray that comes out. The whole mechanism comes out, and it was a huge faulty issue with those Gold Stars, not like the Panasonics.
Hey, it's my buddy, the Fruity Pebbles, in the chat room. We got Mr. Steve Wright, Mr. Right Way. It's an inside joke, guys. Don't. He knows I'm only playing with him. He says the Terra Onion is amazing.
It is. But it's really not fully designed for the TurboGrafx 16. It's designed for the PC Engine. You have to open the case. There's some screws in the bottom. You kind of loosen those screws a little bit.
Right.
Otherwise, it's too tight to fit on. It works.
Yeah.
You just have to modify it a little bit.
Oh, no, not... Wait, are you talking about for the PC Engine? Because mine just slid right on.
No, for the PC Engine, that was designed for it. The American TurboGrafx 16, it'll work, but you have to loosen the case a little bit. It's too snug. It just won't fit on properly. Just a couple.
That's another good point, though. Like the cost of some of these things that allow you to play multiple games at once. You know, people will be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to pay $300 for that." Well, then, do you want to pay $300 for 4 games? Because that's what you're going to end up paying for a lot of these consoles that have rare games that you want. You know, some of those games are $100,
Or use software emulation and load the ROM.
Well, yeah, that's
wait,
alternative if you're playing on the real hardware.
Know what someone's going to do? Use that Pico, the Raspberry Pi Pico, like with the GameCube right now. They made a mod chip out of it, load the games that way. So I'm going to bet someone's going to start using that a lot more to make a lot of these machines, load from the SD card and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it, they do make a small little Pico board that goes under your GameCube and acts as a mod chip. So you don't have to boot up with a special CD, and it'll go right into the program that loads from either the tray for your disk or from an SD card. So I think like the Raspberry Pis themselves may not have to be an emulator per se, but will allow enhancements. Like in the Amiga, you can use a Raspberry Pi 3A to replace the processor on it, which is a 68000. Processor expansion boards, accelerators are very expensive. Now for like $60, you can get like an 040, an 030, HDMI out, hard drive, and an SD card, thanks to a Raspberry Pi replacing the processor. It's dropping in its spot. So there's all different kinds of, it's still emulation, because this Raspberry Pi is emulating through software 68000 or 68030 or 68040, HDMI out, hard drive, but it's connected to the real hardware. So that's another way you can go. You can have software emulation that's actually connected to run on original hardware to add enhancements to it. That's another way that software emulation can make our lives better.
He's having too much fun with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think overall, though, I think everybody does a little bit of emulation on either hardware or software. But again, as a guy that does broadcasting, there's people that do software switching, and then there's hardware switching. I am a hardware guy 100% through and through, but I still do use software. So I think there's place for both. Would that be a fair assumption from all of us here on the panel, that there's room for both, but ultimately hardware is going to dominate?
We all just get along, people.
Yeah. No, I have a huge, I have a huge collection of emulators and games on my PC. Like I have a backup drive with all of it, because literally, since the first ZSNES came out, or whatever, I think that's what it was called. I've been, building my collection since then. So it's very extensive, and it's cool to have, because, like we were talking about, eventually, hardware isn't going to work. And so it's nice to have that there. But in the case where you can't emulate something correctly, it's very nice to have the actual hardware for that.
100%. Well, we're going
to winning a rover.
We have one other thing we want to go over with you guys really quick. Take a look at this.
Hi, everybody. This is Tim Kitcher, the voice of NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And if you're like me and you like to keep your finger on the pulse of the game community, there's no better way than Old School Gamer magazine, either print or digital. And here's some options as how you can help support Old School Gamer Magazine in this Kickstarter. For $20, you can get a full year subscription, including 6 digital issues. This is available around the world. Or, for only $95, you can go with a lifetime digital subscription anywhere. And for $50 US, you go print and digital in the US, a little more in Canada. International options will come after the Kickstarter. For most of you, one of those options will cover you. But if you want to really invest in Old School Gamer, check out these options. For $100, subscribers board advisory position, private Facebook group, thanks in every issue of OSG, plus 1 year subscription including 6 issues digitally and print. And for $350, featured. A collector, store, or arcade of your choosing gets featured in the magazine with a 1 to 2 page article. Plus 1 year subscription including 6 issues digitally and print. Plus advisory board benefits including thanks in every issue. And for $1,000, publisher's board position, plus subscription digitally and print. So take it from me, Mr. Boom Shakalaka. The best way to keep your head in the game is with Old School Gamer Magazine. And now with this special opportunity to invest in Old School Gamer, you not only ensure your subscription, you're helping a great cause, and you have the option to help promote yourself or your business. Hey, that's a win-win where I come from. So get on the team today. Be a part of Old School Gamer and make your pledge right now. Woo, boom shakalaka!
So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Old School Gamer Magazine, a great bunch of people running it. They're still shooting for that $30,000 Kickstarter goal. They're not quite halfway there yet. They still have, how many days left? I see it on there. I can't tell. 11 days to go.
11 days.
So let's see if we can get them a little closer to it. It's a really good magazine. Steven has it as well. He'll tell you that there's some really good articles in there. You can get just the electronic copy, or you can get the full paperback copy. I prefer the paperback copy just because I like flipping through pages. And it's a really good magazine. There are a good bunch of people over there. So if you can help them out, and if you guys do like, retro games and some modern games, take a look at Old School Gamer Magazine. Good bunch of guys over there.
Absolutely. I think everybody should have a subscription too. I like it. The only thing I missed from it is the first couple of issues that I got, there was posters in it. And now I don't get no posters.
It depends on, they do still do posters. They do. It just depends on the month. I forgot which one it is, but they do include usually a post at least once or twice a year.
Okay, because I have three posters. Posters. Yes. So, all right. So real quick, before we roll out of here, guys, Prince Malcolm says in the chat room, let's pull this up. He says also Magic Swap Disc for PS2 is amazing. I've never used that.
Yes.
So he does say that that's really good here.
That one only works on the pop top, though, right? It doesn't work on the tray.
When you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys, that we need to cover? I don't think there's anything else that I've got on my list here.
Just we have to remind everyone our new day and time for the show. Have we finalized that 9 o'clock on Thursdays or Wednesdays?
I think it's going to work, especially like you said with you got plans tomorrow night. It worked out. You were glad that we changed to today because my daughter's birthday tomorrow. That was the original reason. I was like, guys, can we do it a day earlier? And everybody's like, yeah. Bill, I know this day works best for you, right? Thursday.
This works really good for me. Yep, this is perfect.
And Jade is, she's like, yeah, whatever. She's just like, oh, whatever. Whatever you guys want. Just tell me when to be there. So I think we're going to shoot for this and do it on a Thursday night. That way we also have the flexibility to go longer like we did tonight without, so people can actually hear. Yeah, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. I know there's some other random streams that are going on, and that's fine. People that don't really want to stick around here, they can go to other streams. That's the good part. I know Kongs usually does his show on a Thursday night, but I had talked to him, and he's like, look, man, he's like, I don't mind. You guys go ahead. And so he was really gracious about it. But this is what's going to work best for us for right now, I think, going forward. So it looks like next Thursday, that's when we're going to be back. We're going to back and do this. Biggie D says he likes Thursdays as well. I don't know about you guys in the chat room, but I feel like, and we were talking during one of the breaks, I said, it feels like we could put a lot more content in not hang on it, but do some solid content without feeling rushed. I feel like sometimes it's rushed. So that's where we're at. Jayde, what do you got this week? You got a ton of stuff always coming out in the shorts, the hilarious shorts that you're doing with the big heads.
Oh my God, yes.
What else? Tell them what they have to look forward to.
Most of my shorts are going to be reposts from my TikTok. So yeah, I'm silly with that. But I am working on a couple different things. I am working on a Darkstalkers project, which is going to feature a big blue conversion, which is going to be very cool. So I'm hoping that that's going to be ready end of next week. And then I've got a couple other things in the works, and I also have the mini docu-series going on. So I don't know. I'm definitely not going to have anything major this week, maybe end of next week, but there will probably be a few shorts released. And then my show right now, I actually might be moving it to twice a month or once a month. I haven't decided yet.
And we're going to continue dialing that in, getting you even tighter on that. So guys, check her out, youtube.com/SheLion Gaming, TikTok, SheLion Gaming, and Twitter, pretty much SheLion Gaming everywhere. I mean, you can go check that out. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Also, Bill, what do you got coming in the works here? What, Mr. Wow Bill?
I am sitting here patiently waiting for my iArcade to come in.
Ooh.
Like I was telling everybody, FedEx has had it on the way, supposed to be here today, didn't show up. Hopefully tomorrow, hopefully over the weekend, we'll see. But once I put that together, I'll play with it for a while, check it out, and then, I'll give a review of my opinion of the new Gold Cabs.
Awesome. Make sure you guys give him a follow over on YouTube, youtube.com/Bill's Retro Gaming Show, and he's pretty much on all the other social medias. Retro Bill, I believe, is what it is on Instagram. Retro Bill 17 or something like that. So
71.
71. Ah, darn it. I'm getting there. I'm going to remember this yet. So make sure you check him out. And this guy as well with his Build-Decade. You guys can check him out, youtube.com/Glen Planamento. And check out his Build-Decade. He's got a lot of interest from the different trade shows you've been going to.
Yeah, a lot of really good feedback from a lot of people. So we're excited. We're still shooting for November. So if you get your pre-orders in, you'll be one of the first to get a Build-Decade. I also got to finish this video. I've had this from the Buy Stuff store. It's really neat. It's the
Slacker
GRS yoke and wheel box. And this thing's really, really good. I haven't had a chance to post a video yet. And also, 2 of my products have got a version 2 update, which I'll spring on that when I can. So 2 products will be coming out improved, right? Which is always
awesome.
Good.
And I'm going to show a little bit for everybody here. So if you guys want to, head over to the techbuzz.net/store, and you can pick up, if you want to support the channel, any money that's made here. I think I make like $2 on it. I'm putting it toward a giveaway that we can do. You can get your own Game Time. It's got all our logos on the back. And you got the nice Game Time logo on the front. You can get it in any color you want. So you just kind of choose it here. If you don't like black, you can get red, you can get orange, you can get purple, pink, green, blue. I'm kind of partial to the black t-shirts. That's kind of what I like. And this is what it looks like.
Game Time.
So I've got I purchased my own. Sometimes you got to watch because they do really good deals on these. That sometimes you can get them for like $20, but there's other stuff for Game Time as well. There's like, if you're into the hoodies and the stickers and the mugs, you can get all that stuff here. High res logo. Like I said, on the back of the t-shirts, you can get, it has all of our logos on it. And it's a good way to support the show, especially if you enjoy the show. So again, rather than I made a hyperlink.
Even if you don't enjoy the show, it's a great way to support the show.
Yeah.
Not just because you like the show. If you don't like the show, still buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. You can get one and then share it off. Actually, if you do get a shirt, take a picture with it, and we'll show it on the show. Yeah, we'll show the picture on the show. I think that'll be cool.
I've got one more shill out.
Go ahead, go shill out.
And if you want to see a short preview of the up-and-coming Darkstalkers project, go check out my Twitter because there's a video pinned up there with the intro I'm working on for it. And Travis MCP actually helped me with the editing on it. It's pretty sick.
I actually thought you were trying out for a vampire movie because I kind of got freaked out when I saw it. I was like, I'm just going to put that out to you guys. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. Just don't watch it on Halloween night. I can't promise you it would be any good.
And it's much better than Twilight.
Goofyfoot says he needs a hat. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can do hats on here of Game Time. But the person that does my Tech Buzz gaming hat, I can probably see if she can do the hats there, and we can get them pretty cheap where it's all embroidered. See if she can do that, and maybe I can get some hats going. What colors would you guys want us to do with the hats? Hit us up on Twitter or whatever your social media is. Do hashtag Game Time so we can kind of track it. Send one of us colors, and I'll see what I can do.
Or leave a comment.
Yeah, or leave a comment on the video. Hey, there you go. I got to get used to this YouTube thing. Leave a comment here. Sorry, guys. But yeah, we got to get out of here. It's getting late. A lot of you guys got to go to work tomorrow. So we will see you next week on Thursday. Really appreciate everybody coming out and catering to our needs of doing it a day earlier. So we'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend and play some pinball and arcades, will you? Don't just let them sit there.